This episode is brought to you thanks to all of our patrons over at boardsandswords.com/Patreon. That's actually a thing now. I went and made that a thing. Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the funk. Gotta have that funk.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt at Grace.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. On the podcast.
I'm pretty sure
you have.
At
Well,
least
I'm
twice.
telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
And I went to the standby instead of it. Welcome to Boards and Swords. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Redshaw. And once again, I have Corey here in studio.
My name's Cory. Hi.
And we've got my partner in crime, Mr. Philip Herbig, on the phone.
What's
with
going
us
on,
as well.
everybody?
Live from a remote location. Did you just like smash a bunch of buttons at once?
I clicked instead of pushing a keypad.
Ah.
I was going to do the air horn as my intro, but then I did the Price is Right losing horn as my intro.
Well, you
which
did
kind of
both.
fits
Well,
some
we
days.
heard both.
Okay.
Life is full of dualities.
I excitedly lost. That's what I did.
That's the best way to lose, right?
So figured it would be kind of against the point if we only had women on to talk about sexual harassment.
Yeah.
So I thought that we'd actually give you a chance to talk about something fun for once, which
What are we going to talk about?
we'll get to in a moment. But first, we have news.
Oh.
So you get to see what a normal actual episode's like.
Fun. Who is saying that?
That's Colin.
It's Colin, voice of an angel.
Yep. All right, here we go. First up, you might say that, oh, that's the wrong story. All right, we'll get to that one. You might just say this first company is exploding in growth because our first story is Exploding Kittens acquires Happy Salmon.
Cool.
So there you go, Philip. It's like your favorite game.
Happy Salmon is an amazing game.
I
Exploding
hope that they paid him good.
Exploding Kittens has acquired the family game Happy Salmon, designed by Quentin Weir and game developer Ken Gruhl. From North Star Games, the company announced they've joined. Ken Gruhl actually joined Exploding Kittens as senior game designer as the company scales up to produce more games. Like, they've been kind of producing like one-off stuff here and there, but now they're like really scaling up on stuff. So in 2020, they released 3 games: Throw Throw Burrito Extreme, Poetry for Neanderthals, and a game of cat and mouse. This year, they're expecting to release a total of 6 games. So you got Taco Cat spelled backwards, A Little Wordy, and Exploding Minions. 2 that have apparently just launched. Throw Avocado. So I guess that's your vegan version.
I love it. Well, you can have vegan burritos.
I guess that's true. I just when I see throw avocado, that's the only thing.
Healthy fats.
Yeah, Exploded Kittens recipes for disaster, and then they're going to be making a Exploding Kittens version of Happy Salmon, which I own Happy Salmon, and I will have to buy that because I love the Exploding
Cats.
Kittens art style.
Yeah.
And
Very
apparently
cool.
coming out with a 2-player version of Exploding Kittens.
Nice.
So
For
I'm
the
all over
people
this.
Who only like one person. I like those people.
Yeah.
I
Or
understand.
yeah, if you just, especially in this day and age
Yep.
where it's like you're only at home with like 2 people.
Yep. Or one person and your dog.
Yeah. I just want to know, is it still going to be Happy Salmon, but like with just that same art style? Or is it going to be like
Like
happy,
a reskin?
like a Happy Kittens kind of thing?
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like even if they reskin it, it'll be fun.
It'll be good regardless. but I would want it more if it was like an actual cat one,
Yeah.
cause me and cats.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love this game, or I mean, I like this art, the studio. I haven't played a lot of their games because the second game that I kickstarted for them was Bears versus Babies, and that was not good. It was just kind of like, meh.
Did they make a unicorn game like exploding like
No, Unstable Unicorns is a different company, I believe.
similar art?
Yeah.
So I played Unstable Unicorns with a friend, and they had played it at a friend's house or something, and they loved it, so they bought it and didn't realize they bought the not safe for work version, and then brought it to our house talking about how great the game was, and then we opened it and they were like, oh my god, put the cards back, I didn't know this is what it was, and returned it and bought the normal version. She was so embarrassed. It was very sweet. Yeah. So just watch out.
I'm not surprised by this because I've heard things about North Star Games, them kind of not doing well money-wise.
Oh.
So I'm trying to think of what else they also do. Like the North Star also does the Wits and Wagers. If you've ever seen that game,
Jimmy's mom loves it.
Oh, apparently Recipes for Disaster has a 2-player version. That's
Cool.
the Recipes of Disaster Exploding Kittens. So maybe that's one of their modes.
You said they're not doing well in money, so they're acquiring?
No. North Star, who owned owned Happy Salmon, isn't doing
Gotcha.
well. So it makes sense that
They would
acquire this game because they're probably looking for some money,
that makes sense.
or they would let this game go. Anyways, all right. This next game though is going to have a pretty rustic look to it because we're talking about a game called Corrosion. Capstone and Deep Printer partner on Corrosion. It's a game about building machines with limited lifespans.
Those cell phones.
So it's a game about planned obsolescence?
No, I think it's more of about when thinking corrosion, like things that are going to like rust away, kind of.
So human bodies.
Yeah. Corrosion, the players are the managers of engineering shops trying to build and operate a variety of useful machines. However, most of these machines corrode and break down quickly, limiting their creators' ability to operate them.
Sounds like they need a materials engineer. Anyway, sorry for my sassy side talk.
No,
it does look very cool.
That's kind of the point. The sassy side talk.
Sassy
I
side
do
talk.
like the artwork.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm not usually a big Capstone person because they usually do a lot heavier, very heavier Euro-style games.
What do they make?
Did they do Lisboa? I don't think they did.
Who does Brass?
Brass is Roxley Games,
I like that.
but in that style, yeah. There's a bunch of them. I just can't think of any. I know. What's that water? What's that? The scandal Watergate. They did a game. They did a board game called Watergate that released a couple years ago.
You just trying to steal stuff?
No, it's like a. It's kind of one person plays basically the reporters, and one person plays next to it, or I believe, where you're trying to like do stuff without getting caught, basically.
Gotcha.
In that scene, I don't know a whole lot about it because it wasn't up my alley.
Yeah. I'm looking at the games they made. I haven't played most of these. But they have a game called Lux. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Eternia?
Lux Eternia?
Aeterna.
Yeah.
The art style's beautiful. The end.
The end. Yeah. So that's what did I say? Releasing in November. There we go. All right. Speaking of new games, when a bunch of time travelers get together for lunch, is that a times table? So, coming from Pandasaurus Games is a new game called That Time You Killed Me.
Cool.
It's an abstract style game where you plot rival time travelers plot each other's demise in the abstract style strategy game That Time You Killed Me. It's played across 3 game boards representing the past, present, and future. On your turn, a player can act in any of the boards, and actions in the past can modify boards representing later time periods. Their goal is to eliminate all the multiple copies of their rival, proving they are the one true time traveler. I don't know why that's called abstract, because like that seems like it's got a lot of theme to it, but I guess maybe the theme may not apply to the actual things.
I don't know what abstract means. So.
Abstract's usually like chess is like considered an abstract game, or checkers.
Like in the Monty, what is that room that we play at in Gen Con? Monty Cook games, when they have like links and.
No, you're thinking of Rio Grande, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
that makes
that's
sense.
like links and the yinks and
Gotcha.
The thing that Colin loves, where I swear they just reach into a Scrabble bag and grab 5 tiles.
Yep. It's fun.
Well, that's
like
right.
them.
Like anytime you're at Gen Con and you can't, and you want to try and like find Cory and Jimmy, just go to the Rio Grande room.
If we don't have anything to do, we're like, let's go.
I would do that, except for I don't really like any other games.
Gotcha. That would harsh the vibe.
I am interested in this though. I would try it because I like time travel as a theme.
Cool.
And it seems like I'm getting a low key vibe from like all that where it's talking about representing multiple copies of the. So a couple days ago, I had all you could eat sliced potatoes for lunch. It was a real Friday.
Get out.
Aries Games. That's because Aries Games is releasing a revised edition of Last Friday.
Last Friday night.
Yes, just
Cool.
like that. So Last Friday is a hidden movement game. We're in one of those where like you're marking on a separate board where you're moving to, and everybody else is trying to figure out where you are. But one person is the like slasher.
Gotcha.
Think like kind of Friday the 13th, and everybody else are the campers trying to survive. And at least I have the original version, and at least when we played it, there's like 4 different acts, and like Act 1 is kind of like the same, like the start where like you're hunting down and trying to kill one person, and then like Act 2 it flips, and then the person's trying, or the slasher's trying to run away, and the campers are trying to hunt them down, and then it like flips again. So, but this is a new updated version. That's going to go into retail in September, so next month. Whoa. Cool. Players taking on the roles of young campers trying to survive a rampaging, undying psychopath. In updated and revised version includes changes to the rules to enhance the game balance. I will say that when we did play it, it was a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we ended up only playing like one of the acts, and it was just like we'll just stop at that because I think it even says you can do that in the rules. But if there was an easier way of doing it, I would definitely prefer that.
Makes sense.
All right. And then so here for our last one, did you know that I used to steal engine covers off cars as a kid? I was a real hoodlum.
Gross.
So I have to throw in, this is your monthly Marvel Champions update, and there's a Hood scenario pack coming out. For those of you who don't know who the Hood is, because he's kind of like a very niche kind of. If you don't read like Daredevil comics, you probably would never know who he is. Ever since he witnessed a battle between Electro and Daredevil as a child, the life of a supervillain was enticing to Parker Robbins. Later, while stealing money to pay for his mother's medical care, a chance encounter with a demon left Robbins with a pair of boots that let him walk on air and an equally mystical red cloak. Now, as the Hood, Robbins and his budding criminal empire are swiftly becoming a formidable threat to the people of New York City. So one of the cool things about this is it comes with like 9 different. So the way Marvel Champions works is you have like the deck of the villain you're playing, like the standard set of cards you always mix in, and then you have like a bonus encounter thing that you can mix in, and you can change that so that the same villain can play completely different. Well, this one comes with like 9 modular encounters, and you over the course of the game you'll mix up like 7 of them into this deck to represent like his growing criminal empire. So I'm interested in that bit, but I'm not like a huge Hood fan, so it's kind of like, It seems really early to be driving out the niche heroes.
Maybe
Or
they're
villains.
gonna like bring him in somewhere, so they wanted to like start to get the hype train going.
Maybe.
Walking on air is pretty cool. You could do all kinds of stuff. So
Like what, Corey? What could you do?
you could climb up to windows. I'm just wondering, like, define air for me. How
Yeah.
high can he like?
Oh, I
climb?
don't know.
Yeah, you know, because could he walk up 50 miles into space and become an astronaut?
There's not air up there.
But like, how much air does he need? Trace amounts.
I mean, they're from a demon, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming it doesn't. That science may not completely work.
Gotcha.
We can't over science this. So that's the news.
Do. We're not moving.
Oh, we aren't? No, we're not. That's not good.
Are you still there, Phil?
I am still here.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
The
Cool.
camera-
Hey, that shifted.
What was it?
Well, because I'm watching the live stream, so like it shifted. The camera angle shifted.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's moving.
Nope.
That's a
All
great look on
right.
my face.
Yep. Please.
Not
stand.
everybody who's watching is a dinosaur.
What?
Jurassic Park.
Oh. Oh, hey, look. OBS crashed.
All right.
Whoop.
Oh, and there it goes.
I have no response to that.
Oh, I think it's working again.
We'll find out here in a second.
Yeah, well, it's showing on our screen at least.
Hey, up. There's movement. Corey looked away, and now she's looking back
That's me.
with her fresca.
I do love a fresca.
You know, on the spot, unplugging it and plugging it back in.
Got some Ainsley Hayes vibes there, Miss Corey.
Who's that?
Yeah, no idea who you're talking about.
She's the lawyer from The West Wing. The Republican lawyer working in the Democratic White House.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Is she like a further season? I've only watched the first like season and a half.
She's like season 2 or 3.
I'll have to go Google.
So, Corey,
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
so one of the reasons you're here is I had you and Jimmy over to play some games. We
Played this game.
We played what game? What game is that?
If I can get it out from the chair behind me. I have to scoot in.
She's between a table and a game shelf. Yes. So we played Vampire the Masquerade Rivals, which I've been playing a bunch here and there to try and get the hang of. Because it's one of those games that you're going to have to play like at least 2 to 3 times to understand the rules.
Oh. Or you could read the full, everyone could read the full rule book. But
No one's going to do that.
yeah, it's long. It's helpful though. But it's good. It's fun. Once you know all the rules, it's a good time.
So in this game, it's 2 to 4 players, and it's set up like I'm hearing stuff shaking around. I'm nervous.
Oh, it's probably me.
No. I meant in the box.
Oh.
In this game, you play a clan of vampires, and this is a game kind of like Magic the Gathering or any of those style Ashes, LCG kind of games where you make a custom deck, and but there's like 4 starter things right out of the gate here, and you play against the other vampires, and I guess it's supposed to be San Francisco out of this box, but they leave it open to like the idea that other boxes could have other cities.
Cool.
I'm not going to get very detailed on how you play because I could spend 2 hours figuring that out, but we are going to have a video of us playing it up on the YouTube channel, although I found out I messed up and one of the microphones was muted.
Great.
So I may have to do some like fidgeting to get.
Yeah.
So in this game, you have like hunter, or you have your vampire. You have 2 decks of cards basically in your deck. You have your vampires, and then you have like all your other stuff, like your events, all your like cards you're gonna play on people and things, that sort of thing. And you have to win by one of 2 ways: either getting agenda points up to 13, which each clan has a different way that they get agenda points based on what their clan is best at. Like maybe just fighting people, or maybe like getting attachments. That was the one that Cory was playing, or like doing rituals in some of the expansions, that sort of stuff. Or you have to knock out your rival, thus the rivals part in there. At the beginning of your turn, you kind of randomize who your rival is at the table, so you're not supposed to at least feel like everybody's ganging up on you.
We weren't ganging up on Chris. He deserved it. He attacked me, and I attacked him back. It was perfectly
fair to me.
logical.
Yes, but the thing is Cory attacked me when it served her no good.
I will also say that I attacked Chris because I felt like he might hurt my person, and then I was planning to win the next turn. And then Jimmy didn't know he could win during his turn, and Chris was like, you could keep attacking me and win the game. So if anyone sabotaged Chris, it was Chris.
No, because
Yes.
I wasn't going to win regardless.
You
I
still
just
killed
kept-
yourself.
I just kept you from winning.
Oh, well, you sabotaged both of us.
No, because I wasn't.
I still got second place. I'm perfectly happy there.
There's no second place.
There's second place.
Yeah, you're first loser. Congrats.
I love it. Yeah, but absolutely. It was fun.
So, and that's the kind of stuff you deal with this game. Is there's a lot of like, oh, you don't want to hit me, you want to hit him. Like, for instance, Cory did attack me, but like, it served her. Like, I pointed out to her, I was like, hey, yeah, you can attack me, but you're not going to get anything for it because you only get points when you attack your rival.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to prevent people from like all ganging up on one person.
Yeah. I attacked Chris because he kept taking my blood and giving it to himself and then fueling his rituals with
But
it.
she was
And
my
I didn't-
rival, so I'm supposed to.
Exactly. And I was kind of sick of people taking my blood.
Keep in mind that she had like a powerhouse of a vampire out, and Jimmy has nothing but like little onesie-twosie vampires. So she could have been getting like major points every turn. And
I got major points every turn by adding people to my
Sure.
my attachments.
Sure.
If I killed Jimmy, I only would have gotten one around. But instead,
But
I
you
was
could have
getting-
killed off his vampires to keep them from coming back.
But they weren't fighting me. They were fighting you.
Because he was mine.
Exactly. I didn't need to fight. I was doing fine.
Uh-huh.
We were all pretty close at the end game. Well, Jimmy and I were close at the
Yeah,
end game.
you two were close.
Yeah, we were fine.
I was not. Hand me, there's another box on top of the silver one. Hand me that one. Right above where you were.
Here. You want silver?
No.
Or above
I
silver?
want on the Arkham box. I want the other Rivals box.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the other thing is not only did they send me the core box, they also sent me the first of many expansions to come. So the core box comes with 4 decks. You've got, and I'm not going to talk too much about like the vampire setting because I don't know it. I know it's based off an RPG. I should be getting that. There. By the way, your husband is in the chat.
You.
Of course, he approved because it also made it easy for him to win because
Yep.
it reduced all my vampires. So, but there's 4 clans in the core box, and I do like it that they have like all these starter decks, and then there's just like a group of cards that's just plastic together. It says like, oh hey, don't open these until you've played a couple times, and then you can use these to rebuild decks.
Nice.
And then I think they called it a crypt deck is what they're calling them. So then they have this. This is the first expansion. This is Blood and Alchemy, where it introduces 2 more clans. You've got the Thin Bloods. That's who Jimmy was playing, where you're a bunch of very weak vampires, but like a mob. Think, Philip, if you remember in X-Wing, like your TIE Fighter mob.
Oh, yeah, my TIE Swarm.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Thin Bloods are like. And then you have who I was playing, which is the Tremere, who are these like blood sorcerers, and they play these like rituals, and their characters can like take their blood and put it on other people, and then you can use that blood because you have to sacrifice your blood to play the rituals. So it either has to come from your cards, but if you've got your blood on other people, then you can drain them instead.
Yeah.
So
Rough.
yeah, I not necessarily a fan, just because the way that the Tremere, just because of the way that the rituals take like a lot of stuff to do.
You might be able to switch up the deck and
Yes,
make it better.
I'm very sure, but I definitely the Malkavians that come in the core box is more my play style, because they're all like tricksy people.
Yeah.
Where you get these, because there's a lot of, you may or may not have it, but there's a lot of like potential like political and negotiation that can take place in these games, because since you've got that kind of I might be your rival, but somebody might not be theirs kind of thing, where if it's against my interests, like I say we were playing against, like with Mike and Heather, where I don't want Mike to get agenda points.
Yeah.
So I might, when he goes to attack somebody, I might offer like my vampire to block, and therefore, and I could be like, well, Cory, he's going to attack you. I could block for you, but you got to promise to, like, I don't know, not attack me next turn,
Yeah.
or you know, vote for me, because there's these things called schemes that you can play that, like, and anyone that's ever played Twilight Imperium, that it made me think of that, where there's these laws that you enable in Twilight Imperium, and you flip over your planets as influence. So the more planets you have, the more influence you have in making sure, does the vote go yay or nay.
Yeah.
This has a very similar system where you can use your influence and your resources to make like a card. You play a card, like, so what was the one that was like, you had one that was, if this card goes yes, then
Everyone can heal
4 blood
points.
off of
Yeah.
something.
But I've also had something that's like a little bit more naughty.
Well, there
where
was the one that was like,
you could steal from someone.
yeah, there was
So
the other day. It was me. You picked one other person.
Yeah. And then I would say, well, I could pick more than half of the group. So say there's 5 people. We played with 5 people. No, we played with Jimmy and I were the same team.
Yeah.
So you have to pick half or more people and say, like, hey, we all want to steal from Chris.
Yeah.
Everyone can vote with their influence. And if it's like the influence wins, if our side wins, then everyone gets to steal one from Chris.
Right.
But if Chris was like, oh, that's a very bad idea, and he just puts a bunch of like, if you've never played the game, you won't know what the
just
lingo
spend a lot to make
Yeah.
it go my way.
then it won't go.
But that's where the favors can come in, because
Yeah.
it can be like, hey, I'm going to defend you, but the next time we vote, you're going to vote my way.
It reminds me of the Mistborn board game.
I have not played that one.
It is specifically like negotiation. So
Mm.
essentially you're all trying hard to appease the board when bad things happen. Like it might say every round, like, you have to spend 12 resources, and you'll have 4 different people, and you have to get those 12 resources out, or everyone's going to be in a lot of pain. But some people can be selfish, and so you have to do a lot of negotiating. There's also a great mechanic where if everyone what was the word you used? Like, gangs up on one person and they start losing hardcore. There's a traitor mechanic where you can decide that you're going to tank the board, and then you will still win. And
You're talking about for the
Mistborn board game. And it's very, it fits the books that it comes from very well, the narrative of the books. I would suggest it if you like aggressive negotiating board games. We have the game.
Games with lightsabers?
Oh, there's no lightsabers.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
it's aggressive negotiations.
Yeah.
So, Cory, what did you think of Rivals?
I don't like aggressive negotiating board games. So I played a group that wasn't aggressive or negotiating. I was like playing against myself most of the time, I felt like. So I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It was fine. I'd play it again.
Well, you have played. You played a couple times
Yeah. Now I feel like the next time I'll know all the rules.
now.
Just take 3 times and we'll get it.
Yeah. And that's the one thing, is that all the vampires play differently.
Yeah.
So like there's like the Bruja, which are like I get points no matter who I kill. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's my rival or not. Or like I said, there's you had yours.
Tremere?
Yours was Torador.
Torador.
Which it seems like yours is, so there's a center area of city stuff that happens, and like there's all these like mortals that'll come out. Some want to hurt you, and some are beneficial in the sense that you can, you know, basically turn them to vampires or just suck them dry for a one-time benefit.
And my group was all about increasing your posse. They were
Yeah.
like, get all the mortals, make them all your friends.
So in that sense, like, she's not even like, the only reason she attacked another player was me, and it was because I kept whittling away 1 point at a time on her player.
I didn't like it. 2 points in some
One
occasions.
time.
Didn't like it.
And so that was like, yeah, you were getting a lot of points without even attacking the other players, just attacking the center of the board.
Yeah.
And then the Malkavians, which is the ones I really liked, they play these conspiracies, which are like sneaky stuff where I can play a card and then I can get other people to join in the conspiracy.
Yeah.
And they can help pay for it to make it like go off, because it needs like a certain number of resources to go off. But when it goes off, anyone who didn't pay for it gets the effects of it.
Yeah, like super negative things.
Like, oh, anyone that didn't participate on this card discards 3 cards or exhausts all their vampires and that sort of thing.
It's rough.
Philip, I think you would like this game.
It sounds like something up my alley, yeah.
The only downside, and that's just something we've hinted at a lot, is it's a little complicated. Like, we're talking, I don't know if you remember us playing Android Netrunner. We're talking like that level of complication as far as all the different like slang terms for the different types of points and resources and cards and stuff.
Yeah. I think it's the
Yeah.
kind of game where everyone should either come in having read the rule book or watched an explainer video on YouTube.
But
And then
like,
you also have the rules next to you.
I watched an explainer video and it just like
Yeah.
in one ear out the other. It was like, buh.
Yeah, but I feel like if everyone listens, then like everyone catches something different, and then like you'll all have some mental awareness of what's going on. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
This is almost one of those like, it needs to work the way we did, where it's just I teach the game and we play like 2 rounds and then we'll just put it away, because
Yeah.
by that point you've probably been playing for 2 hours, just because that's how, because you're gonna have so many like, wait, let me see the rules, or wait,
Yeah.
how does
Well,
this work?
This was our 3rd time playing, and there were still moments that like, God bless Jimmy, because he reads things with like a fine tooth comb. So
Yeah.
everything that we missed, and important things like you can heal your vampires. How did we miss that? And he was like, well, you can do it here. I feel like, yeah, you're going to take some time, unless you're someone like Jimmy who reads things really closely to get the rules.
But I also think like,
It was still fun.
But by the, even so, that was our second full game was
Yeah.
playing that. At least all of us at the table, at least, and we still played in about an hour 15
Yeah.
minutes. So it was still not that bad. So you could definitely, and then even at a 4-player game, because as soon as anyone is quote unquote defeated, the game stops.
Yeah.
So it's not like when one player's eliminated, then it's down to 3 or 2. So
And the game is super fun. Once you know the rules, you're fine. Like you know them. They're not something that's like you're parsing code words and stuff. It's just
Right.
that there's a lot of little stuff that you gotta know.
But having watched the game at 4 players and done like a little bit at 4, and then played the game twice at 3, like, it's fun, but it's definitely better at the full
Yeah.
max 4-player count.
So you gotta pay attention to more. There's more room for scheming.
Yeah, and because like when you're playing like at the 2 and the 3, the only people you're either with the 2-player, it's just you and your rival back and forth. And when you get the 3rd player in there, you get I'm playing against Cory and Jimmy, and I'm Cory's rival, but Jimmy is my rival. So there's that triangle of, but when you put the 4th person in there, there's one person that is either not your rival or you're not their rival. So there's a little bit more room for crossplay and scheming, as you said, and alliances a bit.
Yeah.
So it introduces that kind of a little bit more of the, if you're liking the political negotiating parts of it. If you don't mind the straight up kind of like attacky, then the 2 and the 3 is probably fine.
There's also more room for people to like there's less scrutiny on people, so I feel like there's more room for people to surprise you, which is fun.
Yeah.
I always like that.
So yeah, there's and each of the decks, like even this expansion, the Blood and Alchemy, it comes with its own kind of crypt deck that they call full of cards. So even if you don't care about the Tremere and the Thin Bloods, there's still reason to get this because you're going to get the extra cards that you can use. Because eventually there'll be the point where you can go online and like, what's the best deck for the Bruja? And they'll be like, oh, well, you need this, this, and this.
Gotcha.
And it's not a random So this is, from what I've heard, this was originally a CCG called Vampire: The Eternal Struggle, and it didn't have the rivals part where you only had like one person. So there was the possibility, like, well, we're all just gonna like attack Cory kind of thing. So that's the new part, is the adding in that rivals piece.
Nice. And
the making it I think it's just called an expandable card game.
So it's not an LCG, it's an ECG?
Yeah, because that's a Fantasy Flight term.
Gotcha.
So this is, but it's basically that style.
Cool.
Or like Ashes. If you've played Ashes, Philip, that style of where you can buy like standalone decks, but you can also you can mix them together for cards. So
cool.
Hey Philip, what you been playing? Just Destiny?
Well, so I downloaded another game last night. It's called Rebel Galaxy.
Oh, this sounds totally up your alley.
It's it was free on the Epic Game Store. I have no idea who makes it, because I really don't pay attention to that stuff at all in anything. But it's a single player game, which that's fine, because every once in a while you just need to do your own thing. And I don't know, I was going through, like, you start off with this ship and there's some kind of story going on that I haven't really gotten that far into. I only played for a couple hours, but you run around and do missions and get money and upgrade your ship, buy bigger ships. I think you're supposed to be like finding your aunt who was a smuggler.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's some sort of story going on. But yeah, I dorked around with that for a little bit last night.
The art style's pretty cool.
Is it made by Double Damage Games?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Okay. I pulled up, just so we could see, I pulled up the Steam page. This is pretty cool. I like the ship design. Those are very neat.
Yeah.
This one looks like a cargo ship in space. Like all these look like they could be little cargo containers.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense if your aunt's a smuggler.
Yeah, the little bit I played is kind of fun. It's got the mechanic for shooting is a little different. So like your turrets can be set to automatic, or if you're not even, you can switch to your turrets and manually fire them. But if you switch to your broadside weapons, they call them, which is it's ports on the side of your ship that do broadsides. Like the turrets will just automatically fire.
Cool.
So what is, so far at least, I know you've only been playing, like what has set this game apart from like other games like it? Because there's a lot of like these kind of spacey.
I mean, there's
He's like, nothing's different, but I like it all the same.
Yeah, I mean, it was free.
Well, there's that.
There's that. I mean, that's a lot of my. I've picked up almost every single Epic game that they did for free. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've only played a couple hours, so I haven't really gotten into the story. I've done maybe 3 of the story missions, and then just a bunch of side quests.
Very cool.
Neat.
Good story or like me?
I mean, it's the build up to the story.
Gotcha.
It's like you get a message from your aunt. Hey, meet me at this place. You go there. Your aunt's not here yet, so you talk to this guy. Oh yeah, I knew your aunt. Da, da, da. If you need some more information, you got to go talk to this guy. But first, before I tell you where he is, you got to go do some stuff for me.
Oh no.
And yeah, it's
Rude.
yeah. So there's
It
a lot
sounded
of
like you said
there's a lot of
lewd.
that kind of information
Lewd.
trading happening so far.
That's cool. Well, I hope it gets better.
It's gonna be your things I'll play when my Destiny friends aren't on.
Well, things I'll play at 2 in the morning on my day off.
Yeah.
Wait,
when
why
I'm
are you
burnt out
awake
from
at 2 in
Destiny.
the morning on your day off?
Why sleep? Sleep when you're dead.
I like her. We should keep her around.
That's really not my theme, though. I love sleeping. I love dreaming. My bed is great.
I love sleeping too.
I think me and Phil might have the same natural schedule, though. Like, if I didn't have to live like a normal human, I would go to bed at like 5 a.m. and wake up at 11.
Mm.
What about you, Phil?
That's yeah. A lot of my days off are. I have a system. I have a system for my days off. Whenever I get 2 in a row, the first one is that's my me day. I'm not doing anything. I am sleeping almost the entire day.
I'm imagining Phil in like a bubble bath with some cucumbers.
Some cucumbers on my eyes.
Hell yeah.
Some candles and some soft music in the background.
That's so good. What a day.
Some crystals all around me.
Ooh, next
Yeah.
level.
Right? You gotta charge them up. See, that's why I'm awake at night, so I can go outside and charge my crystals in the moon.
Moonlight.
Yeah.
There was a bloody moon the other night.
I
See,
saw
I know
on
what's
your
up.
wife's Facebook.
Yeah. Where there was a whole big thing about like her parents didn't believe her that the moon was bloody because they couldn't see they couldn't find the moon. I guess the
Dang.
cloud cover just
Yeah.
blocked it out. But then they just didn't believe her.
What a thing to
I
have a fight
know.
about too. Like,
I was just
the
like,
moon wasn't
do
red.
you care
Yeah.
that they don't believe you?
John Green has a phrase that's like, "Is this the hill you'll fight and die on?" And it's changed my life. There are moments where I'm like, "This isn't my hill."
I don't think that's a his term. I've heard that
It's-
from like several people.
It's very possible that he's just the first person that I've heard say it, but it's great, life changing.
My hill is that Munchkin is an amazing game.
Okay.
That is a hill to die on.
Yes.
I don't know what my hill is. I'll think about it. I'll come back to you.
Arkham Horror, the card game, is an amazing game.
Okay.
Speaking of which, we have been playing a lot of that.
That's good.
We were about to finish the
cat expansion.
the cat expansion, the Dream Eaters, which apparently is the cat expansion because there's just cats in it
Yeah.
all over the place. Not my favorite though, but it is good. I do enjoy it.
I like having 2 investigators because it makes me excited every week to come back to a different new thing.
Mm. Yeah, because you in this one you play. Everybody plays 2 separate investigators because there's basically an awake party and an asleep party. And so you alternate like, oh, now we're playing the awake investigators and now we're playing the asleep investigators back
Yeah.
and forth. So it's a little bit, I mean, the overall campaign, it feels weird because like the individual stories are shorter, but it's woven into this big giant narrative.
It feels like a book with multiple POV,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Like, you ever remember those like Animorphs books where they would change who's narrating?
Oh yeah, those were
The Megamorphs or whatever?
yeah. Every chapter was a different person.
Yeah.
Yep.
It feels kind of like that.
Or the Expanse.
Those ones were interesting books. I just loved all the Animorphs books in general.
I never read them.
Oh, they were so good.
I hear they're good stuff.
We had to stop.
Well, that's because you
Um,
weren't born yet, probably.
I don't know when they come out.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys are that much older than me, right? Phil,
We had,
you're the closest, right?
I'm 35.
No,
Okay.
he's the same age I am.
Okay. Well, I think we're the closest, probably. I'm 30 of our friend group.
96 is when the first
Okay.
one came
I
out.
would have been 5. That's cool.
during a Scholastic book fair
Hell yeah.
in just the paper in the classroom, nothing really big, but there was it was like sign up for the Animorphs subscription service.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so it was like every 3 months we'll send you 3 books.
That's so cool.
I got a bunch of them. We had to stop though, just because it was
A lot of books.
also because we got stationed in Germany after I signed up for that. So there was like
The
we had
price
the stuff
probably
sent-
went like
we had the stuff sent to my dad's house originally, and then it was like, okay, now he's got to ship them over to Germany.
yeah.
Freight pricing.
Yeah, I did find out how the series ended, and I was like, this is so much crap. And then like after you read the last sentence, there's a letter from the author, and she's like, yeah, sorry, that was crap, I know.
Oh
well,
no.
so there's a whole thing about that because apparently after like book 25 or something like that, she started ghostwriting. So I don't know if that plays into it at all.
Like the series was ghostwritten, or she started ghostwriting for other people?
No, like she didn't directly write the series after like a certain point.
Oh, okay.
Where someone else ghost wrote the
For the
series
series.
for her. So I don't know if that played into that at all.
Rough.
It's possible. I quickly skimmed like the first paragraph of the letter that she wrote,
Yeah.
and it was like, she's like, yeah, I know that ending was horrible. I'm like, all right, at least you
Aw.
know that we know.
That
And we're all on the
reminds
same
me,
page.
Jimmy right now is reading the second series in the King Killer Chronicle. And
Is that the series that Phillips recommended to us all the time?
I don't know. Phil,
That does not sound familiar at
Okay.
all.
Never
Phil's
mind.
always suggesting like space.
Space
Ship.
operas.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
So this is Pat Rothfuss's book series. And it's in 3 parts, or at least it will be. 2 parts are out, and then he has a novella in the middle. And when I first tried to read them, I was getting them from the library, and I got the novella first. So I opened it to read it, and the first page was like, don't read this book first. If you haven't read the first book, you will not understand anything. My publisher told me not to publish this because it is a book without dialogue or plot. It is strange, and I love it, but most people will not understand. So I really don't suggest you start here. You absolutely can, but then you probably won't read any more of these books because it is weird. And he was absolutely right. I read the novella after I read both books, and it made it way better. But yeah, there's no dialogue.
So Jimmy's
I
reading
still
it,
have
or
not-
you read
Oh,
it?
Jimmy's
I've
reading it?
already
Yeah.
read it. Jimmy is
Ah.
currently reading it.
So starting in the middle, I still have never actually read the Fellowship of the Ring.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
I read Two Towers, I read Return of the King, and then like I saw the Fellowship movie
Mhm.
after I had read those 2, and it was like I was trying to read Fellowship. And I was just like,
that's a place though to like start in the middle with two towers.
oh yeah.
Oof.
I in middle school, I may have talked about this before, like Phil in the intro, but
Exactly.
our like reading classes, you had to take like a literacy test, and then they told you what your reading level was, and you had to read within that reading level. And my twin brother, being wise and me being intelligent, this is a perfect example. He went in and was like, I'm going to flunk this so that I don't have to read that much. And he did. So he had like a elementary school reading level, and I passed with flying colors. So I had a college reading level. And then they told you which books you had to read in what order. And so I had to read The Lord of the Rings backwards because the third book is like a lower reading level than the second book, than the third book.
Weird.
Yeah, and they were the only books in our library that had enough points that if I read all 3 in a semester, I would get enough points. This was the stupidest reading program.
That reminds me of like whenever you would see gym classes and they're like, oh, you're going to do X amount of stuff now, and then in 30 days, you're going to do it again, and we better see improvement or something.
Yep.
So you just not do very well in the beginning so that when you can do whatever your hardest is,
Yep.
then it looks like improvement.
Yep.
Oh no, I can't even do one push-up.
Yeah,
Dang.
I can't do one push-up. My mom was a drill sergeant, and she still makes fun of me because she can do more push-ups than me.
I could do one. Maybe just the one, but
I can't do one with good form. I got no upper body strength. We're working on it.
But one last game here. Cory,
Mm.
you want to talk about Silver Bullet? You want to describe how this game plays?
Hi guys, this game is called Silver Bullet. I don't know technically what it's called. It's not trick taking. Essentially, you've got 5 cards in front of you, as does everyone else at the table. You only know what 2 of those cards are when you begin the game. The goal of for you is to figure out what the other cards are that are in front of you, and then get down to the lowest number, because every card has a numerical value. And once you get down to 1, you want to get lower numbers. 2, if you can get the cards out of the hand that is in front of you, that is also great, as it will reduce your number. And if you have 3 cards in front of you, you can call for the end of the round. And that's when everyone scores up their points. There are 4 rounds in this game. It's very fun.
So last year at the beginning of the year, so at the beginning of 2020, I reviewed Silver Amulet, which was the first version of this game. Notice how Amulet starts with an A, and this being the second one starts with Bullet and
Cool.
B. And they have a third one called Coin and a fourth one called Dagger. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Emulation. What is E going to be? Effervescent.
Emerald.
Emerald. That's lame. There's got to be cooler
A
words.
silver emerald?
That's a cool name.
Silver Esquire.
So this is by Bezier Games, who it's got the thing. If you've seen any of their werewolf games, that's where the silver comes in, and a lot of the theme for the cards is got that like werewolf theme to it. It's got that a very similar art style to it. If you've ever played Cabo, it's a card game also by Bezier, but it's basically this when you take the theme off. And it's just like the cards just have numbers, and then like 2 or 3 of them have like swap or flip or something like that. So after I'd played Silver Amulet, I did a review of it, and I was kind of like, I don't know about this. And then I was like, it's fun, but there's a couple of things I like / don't like about it.
Yeah.
So I emailed Bezier and I was like, hey, can I try Bullet to see how it's different? And I'd also like to try Cabo. So I've played Cabo. Cabo's fun in a traditional card game sense. Like
Yeah.
if you've got a family that likes playing like gin or like rummy or, go fish or something like that, that's the kind of group that probably will like Cabo. Like that's a good game, and I would keep it because it's also cheap. It's like $10 or something like that.
The art's pretty.
Yeah. And like you could just take the game to like play with family and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it's a card game, and you don't have to be like, what are all these weird rules and components and meeples and stuff? No, it's just it's like a deck of cards. So that's like on one end, and then I would put Amulet in the middle, and then Bullet's great because it's like just chaos. Like if you're someone that doesn't like luck and just randomness in games, you're not going to like this version of the game.
Oh, that's true.
Because I felt like Amulet was more relying on the memorizing, because most of the there was like 1 or 2 cards that would allow you to swap with other people. But a lot of it was like the cards were about your cards and like flipping your cards over or getting to see your cards and that sort of thing. Whereas Bullet is like the inverse of that, where it's like most of the cards are about moving the cards around the table. And there's a couple that let you like flip over or look at your cards. Like there were a couple times that I would end the round not knowing what the last 2 cards of my hand were.
Yeah, there's definitely less surety, but I think it's still very fun.
Yeah, and it's especially like there's a cow card that allows you to flip the whole draw deck over, which throws the game completely off.
Yeah. I think it's nice. This is the kind of game where if you're a chatty group, or if you're like starting a game night and people haven't seen each other in a while and they're going to want to have some chit chat, You can't do that with Rivals because you're going to have to explain rules for 45 minutes. So start with Silver Bullet, and everyone can just have a good time and chit-chat.
And it's also one of the, and I think I even said this with Amulet, where you don't have to finish the game. Like, you can play,
Don't say that to Phil.
I mean, you never finish.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Like, you don't have to, you could play one round and like as a starter thing, like, all right, let's play a round, and then, you know, somebody shows up, like, cool, let's put this away and play the game we're really here to play.
Yeah. And it's small. You can just throw it in your bag.
Oh yeah.
It's a good time.
I think that ideally they're designed like the cards go from like 0 to 13 in all the sets, so you could like pull out the, like, if you don't like the 4 in this one, you could put the 4 for this other game. You know, I'm curious to see what like the coin and the dagger do, because the dagger has like zombie cards.
Oh,
so I don't know what that does.
Brings cards back from the graveyard.
And these are like super cheap. Like, I think this one is like $20.
Nice.
And you know, it's you know, I'm trying to think of what size box this is. I don't know if I could. It's like a 3x5 box.
The art's super nice.
Yeah, I do like the art. I'm not usually, I've kind of gotten out of, Werewolf is very group dependent.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you enjoy it and sometimes you don't. So I don't play a whole lot of Bezier games that much.
Yeah.
But
I tend not to like social deduction games.
Depends on the game and depends on the group.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun with with just the right people, especially some of my people that are just as kind of like schemy as I am.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yup, I'm into this.
Go.
Let's go. I will say there was one, like, have you ever played The Resistance?
No. Oh, maybe.
It was on the Will Wheaton Show tabletop, where the whole point of the game is a social deduction, where it's like every round you select a crew to go on a mission, and like everyone has like a vote, a yes or no card, and everyone on the mission throws in one of their cards, and the spies want to jeopardize the mission.
I haven't played it, but I've seen it played.
Okay. Like, I played, it was one of the first social deductions I played at a store, and like my friend Bryce, who, like, back when we were playing regularly at the store, all these kind of games, we're like the kind of people that
Bryce talks good shit.
Yes. Me and him love to trash talk all the time.
And I feel like he also would be good at a slight intimidation because he big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were playing The Resistance one time, and everybody closed their eyes and you open who's the spies, and we open our eyes and lock on and see it's just us.
And you were
like, it was so hard for us not to just bust out laughing.
That's fun.
So like when the game begins, we're just all in on each other, like, no, you're the spy. No, you're the spy.
That's fun. Did they figure it out?
I don't remember. This was like 2014.
Gotcha.
And Philip corrects me, that's like a 5x7 box.
Good job, Phil.
Yeah. You would think I'd be good with numbers.
Those are my photo lab days coming back. I was like, hang on, man, 3x5, that's an index card.
That's probably like Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is probably more like a 3x5.
I was about to be like, yeah, if I would trust anyone to know the size of boxes, it's Phil. And then I was like, I don't like that sentence.
When you were talking about bullet plays, I was reminded of some game that has the word council in its name.
Council of
Four? Is it Council of Four?
I don't think so. I'm just thinking of
So there was some game where one of the mechanics is like you have this board in front of you and you have two cards that are facing everybody else, and then you have a couple cards on your side. And you have to figure out what the cards on the other side of your board are.
Oh, 13 Clues?
Is that 13?
The one we played at the Simon Expo?
I didn't play it.
Oh. Well, I played it at I think it's 13 Clues is what you're thinking of. I have that game. I do like it. That's a cool deduction game.
Nice.
It's basically like Clue, but better.
Okay. We played Unwelcome Guests, something like that. And it's like Clue, but like way harder, and it's super fun. Evidently, it was hard to get our hands on, so our friend Patrick had to like buy it on the board game BGG website and have it imported from Germany or something. But it was super fun.
Yeah, like I think there's something Clues. I want to say it's 13 Clues, but like there's a set of cards and everybody's board has a person placing a thing in front of them.
Nice.
But you can't see it. But you have 2 cards inside that you get to see. So everybody gets to see your cards, and you have 2 cards that only you see.
Okay.
And you have to like ask questions, and people say like I will say how many women do you see kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And you'll say, and I go, okay, well, if they saw like the so I mark off like I have a sheet. It's a logic game where like I have a sheet of
Gotcha.
all the possible cards. I'm like, okay, well, it's probably not this one or this one or this one or this one. Where it's like if I say like how many brown, like if there's a color to each of the or like how many swords are there, and they say 0 swords. So I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely not any of the swords because they would see it in front of them.
Yeah.
So
that sounds similar. Jimmy actually brought up the right name of the game. It's Awkward Guests. And it'll be like, oh, the maid saw someone in this room at this time, or like we know that the
game I'm
weapon
thinking of?
couldn't have been a knife, and so you like cross it off on your sheet.
There was a game like that was, if it's the game,
Oh.
no, that's not the game I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Chris is describing 13 Clues.
Okay.
Cool. 13 Clues also sounds cool. I like it.
It's a great group game. Like
Nice.
it's definitely like a good one of those games where it's like we got like 7, 6 to 7 people. It would probably be good for a game where we got like 5
Nice.
of us playing. It would be good. may
I
have to
don't
bring
like
it next
social
time.
deduction, but I love logic games.
Oh yeah, this isn't social. This is pure logic.
Reminds me of we've been playing Planet X. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Hard. Fun.
The Search for Planet X or something
Search
like
for
that.
Planet X. If you love logic games, that one is just a logic game. Like this can't be next to this, but it can be next to that, and there have to be 2 of these in a row.
Nice.
Figure it out.
By
Go
the-
take the LSAT.
By the way, Philip, they updated the Railroad Ink app with the classic version of the game, and I'm all over it now.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah?
Like, even more so because I'm like, cool. I don't have to worry about all those like dead end dice and weird routes and stuff.
All the extra fancy stuff.
Yeah. I still don't get that high of a score, but
Working on it
I'm working
every
on
time.
it. Yeah.
Jimmy and I every night do the New York crossword like mini puzzle together, and he always beats me, but I'm working on it. I'll get there.
All right. Before we go, I will just I have to say that if you're not a part of our Patreon over at patreon.com/boards and swords, you're missing out on like between last week and this week an hour's worth of extra bonus stuff because we had like a hell of a time getting so many technical things that I'm trying to solve. So just Cory and Philip are just sitting there talking, so we just basically that's going to be the bonus bits beforehand instead of our normal after show talking. But on the nights when Cory's not here, Philip and I will just stay and gab.
Shoot the shit.
Yeah, we'll just stay and gab after the show about all sorts of things. Like maybe I'll have to talk about in the future how Chloe and I have started a manga book club.
Cool.
And all that stuff. I will say I put out a post to Patreon listeners, but I know there are some people that were on it that have dropped off. I had to finally put the nail in the coffin, and I realized that the Tangled in the Slip Strings it's not going to happen. The RPG piece, like my heart's just not in it. Like at this point, I'm just not really, and I'm not really feeling RPGs. Maybe I might play in one. Like I've thought about going to like the store and playing in like the D&D encounter stuff, but I'm just not in the headspace to run,
Yeah.
let alone design an RPG. So we're just gonna kind of put a fork in that one because the last thing I want to do is put a bad product out. So in the meantime, I still like the world that me and Calvin made, so I might try and do something with that. I've got like some board game ideas in my head that I just need to kind of think about how I want to do them. So that might, but and I got to come up with some new goals for the Patreon. But sorry if you cancel your Patreon for that, totally understand. You were expecting something and I didn't deliver. But if you want to see what's to come, and we definitely, I think it's worth at least $1 a month. If you get $1 worth of enjoyment, so 50 cents per show worth of enjoyment, then $1 over at patreon.com/boards and swords. And Philip, it's time to roll the beautiful bean footage.
That's been our show, everyone. If you enjoy what's going on here, like the man said, you got to check out boardsandswords.com/Patreon. That's going to have all the options available to you to help support us. Check us out, boardsandswords.com/live. That's got the schedule that we sort of loosely stick to on when we're actually going to be broadcasting. I am not as think as you drunk I am here, folks. It's got the schedule. It's got everything that we've done in the past. Mostly, some of that stuff has probably been lost to the ether, which is a good thing. You don't want to see that embarrassing stuff we used to do back in the day.
But there's plenty of stuff that's still embarrassing on there.
Take it away, Chris.
All right. Comments, questions, if you got them, we want them. Feedback at boardsandswords.com. Or on social media. Boards and Swords Pod on Facebook.com is our official Twitter page. Also, you go to boardsandswords.com/Slack to join our cool Slack and see all the cool conversations we have in there. I'm also Boards and Swords on Twitter and Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram. Cory, do you want to promote your Instagram? Did you ever look it up?
No.
I think it's just Cory Harrop.
Don't find me. I'm not that cool.
Oh, come on.
Go follow someone else who'll teach you stuff. My name's Cory Harrop, and I'm on Instagram. I sometimes post there.
You post a lot on Instagram.
I do. That's where I live. It's mostly me talking about house projects.
And plants.
And plants. And my dog. I guess if I'm going to promote anything, tell your loved ones you love them. Put on sunscreen. Drink water.
All right. This podcast is also a part of Punchboard Media. For other great gaming podcasts, make sure you check out punchboardmedia.com. And thanks again for tuning in, for listening. Once again, patreon.com/boardsandswords to help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and I'm just hoping that this one's saved.
Bye. Do we wait till the music ends?
Kinda.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. This is fun to dance to.
It's usually not that long after the stop talking. We've timed it out pretty well.
And that's
Cool.
what she said.
Stop talking. Why'd she tell you that?
Bye.
I'm just a pretty face.
Bye.